through product-led growth. So as we all know, that in today's competitive business landscape, the question is not just about growth, it's about sustainable and impactful growth strategies that don't just rely on heavy investments in paid advertising. The concept explore how businesses, regardless of their size or resources, can actually implement the strength of their products to fuel substantial growth for the organization at the end of the day. And today, we have an amazing mix of guests having diverse experience across organizations of different sizes and verticals to share their experiences on this super interesting topic. So, not taking much time, let me quickly introduce you to the amazing guest for today's event. In this episode today, I'm privileged to host four amazing ladies, Amrita, Swati, Nitya, and Reena. Amrita is the marketing communications professional at Siemens. She's a product marketing, business branding, and a Marcom professional. Along with that, she has been featured on publications like SAP, DZone, Vocal, Thrive Global, Your Story, Hacker Noon, Elephant Journal, and BBC News Tamil version. That's a long list. And she has also been listed on Digital Vishesh as one of the top 10 content writers in India. Also, she has also spoken at Josh Talks. So welcome, Amrita, to our show. We are privileged to have you in our show today. Our second guest, Swati, is a product marketing manager at Urjan Cleantech, which is a technology-enabled distributed solar company in India. And her proficiency in managing PR efforts and securing positive media coverage is supported by her skills in communication and relationship building. Welcome, Swati, to our show. We'll be super excited to hear your experiences. A third guest, Nitya, is a product owner at Symphony AI. Now, we all know Symphony AI is a well known name in the SaaS industry, which is transforming the world's largest industries with packaged AI SaaS. Nitya is a certified Scrum product owner and a diligent product manager with around 7+ years of industry success, including product roadmap development, market research, data analysis, and product lifecycle management. Nitya, we are super happy to have you on our show today, and our listeners would be super excited to learn from your experiences in this domain. Our final fourth guest, Reena, is a product marketing manager at Carix Mobile. She's a marketing professional with astound experience in the SaaS domain. She is skilled in content creation, copywriting, and of course, focusing on organic generation and lead nurturing. So, welcome, Reena, to our show. It is my privilege to have such amazing ladies on our show today. Welcome, all of you, once again. So, before moving ahead, let me quickly explain the structure of today's event. Uh, First of all, I will not take much of the time. I will want that my amazing ladies should actually share the most of the time on the mic. So I would want to start with all of you taking out 2 to 3 minutes and taking us through your journey and your experiences. And then we can get into some specific questions that we have received from our community. I have separate questions for all of you tailored to your specific experiences and exposure. And then I would like to understand from all of you how the same challenges have solutions addressed differently to different audiences or industries, and how you have been catering to those different challenges. So, if we can start with you, Nitya, if you can just quickly tell something about you and your journey in quick 2 to 3 minutes.
Sure, Kunal. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the quick intro. So, good morning, everyone. So, myself, Nitya. I'm working as a product owner currently with Symphony AI. I hold 7 years of experience till date. I've previously worked with leading organizations focusing on user-centric solutions. So, at Symphony AI, I drive on scaling an AI-powered chatbot application and implementing product-led growth strategies, which involves combining the innovating new products along with the effective go-to-market plans. So I'm here excited to share the insights on product-led growth with you today. Thanks for having me here.
Thanks, Nitya, for a quick intro. You have been bang on the point just like a product marketer. It's fine. So, Swati, if you can actually have some points about you and like something about you and your journey.
Sure, Kunal, thank you. Hi guys, my name is Swati. I'm a product marketing manager working with Ujin Cleantech. I have an overall 5 years of experience into marketing. I started my journey with a multinational corporation before transitioning to the renewable energy sector. In my role, it's not just about promoting what we do, it's about genuinely understanding and addressing the needs of our customer. So, this involves crafting messages and strategies that resonate deeply with our audiences. I'm excited to be here and eager to share some of my key insights and strategies that I've learned along the way, especially how to effectively communicate the value what we offer to our customers.
Perfect. So, all of you are getting to the point, just like product guys. who just talk about the right thing in the short period of time. So amazing short intro, Swati. Thanks for that. Amrita, if we can actually have something about you and your amazing experience and amazing profile that you have been getting featured on so many platforms, how have your journey been, and what exactly your experiences have been?
Thanks, Lokesh, for the lovely intro. I have around 5 years of experience in marketing. So I would say marketing as a whole because I started out as a content writer. So my first designation was junior content writer. And then for the past 2 years, I have been venturing deeply into product marketing. Apart from this, I started as a hobby, like writing on LinkedIn. So, personal branding wasn't what I had in my mind earlier, but then it took a serious turn. And I also have written around 700 plus posts on LinkedIn, and I was able to get so many opportunities. For example, this Joe Stocks, and a lot of other features as well. So I would say LinkedIn was my foundation, which helped me scale my personal brand as well as help me grow in my career. So LinkedIn is the basic foundation. Now I'm looking forward to having my own podcast, which I have experimented earlier and got good reviews. But now I'm just thinking of doing something seriously into it rather than just moving on from the experimentation phase. So yeah, that's all about me, I guess.
Wow, that's wonderful. So congratulations for all your future aspirations as well, and
Thanks.
like kudos to whatever you actually achieved so far. Hi Reena, if you're available now, you can actually
Yes, yes. Is
yeah,
this
yeah.
is this audible now, Kunal? So sorry about earlier.
No, that's okay. Yeah, it's perfect now.
Okay. Thank you for having me on the talk show, Kunal, and thank you V360 for hosting this. Very short introduction about myself. I started my marketing journey with Zoho, and Zoho, as we all are aware of, is the first of the Indian companies which relied heavily on product-led growth and expansion. We focused a lot on R&D, and that was my learning ground. That is where I picked anything and everything I could to enable product led growth strategies and grow a company by crafting beautiful softwares for users, keeping customers in the heart while you're creating the tool. These are the same skills now I bring on board with me here at Carex. At Carex, we are a CPaaS solutions provider. We cater to customers looking for SMS, WhatsApp, voice solutions, and yeah, trying to lead the product led growth here as well. So let's get on with this show then.
Wonderful, wonderful, Reena. It'll be definitely amazing to actually get to know some of the experiences. And of course, Zoho is actually a benchmark and milestone in Indian SaaS industry. So you coming from the same background will definitely get to know some real amazing insights. So welcome to the show, and it would be amazing with all the ladies here. So let's get into the real action and get to the questions that we have received from our community. So I would like to start with you, Reena, and I will keep shuffling between the people. There's no specific order. I'll just keep shuffling as the question seems to be relevant according to the discussion. So I'll start with you, Reena, since you were actually talking about the customer-centric approach and the differentiation in terms of the delivery or in terms of the solutions that we are offering to the customer. So from your experience, since you've also been a part of Zoho, so how can a product-led approach contribute to a market differentiation, and what role does exactly innovation play in this specific process?
Sure, Kunal. So, as we are all aware that the main difference between a sales-led growth and a product-led growth is that when it's a product-led growth company, your soul lies in your product. That will be the sole driver for customer acquisition and expansion. That being said, innovation plays a very vital role in the success of a product-led growth. This is because now you will need your product to stand out amongst the competitors in the market. So to drive innovation in a product led growth, you will have to constantly listen to your customers. Your feedback loop has to be very, very strong, because you will need to provide what your customers are asking for. Whereas, as you're aware, in a sales led, it's the reverse. The sales guys will go out there, listen to the customers, negotiate, bring things back to the product and engineering team. It's the cycle is reverse, right? So that being said, now when you are developing your tool, innovation lies at the heart of this growth, because you will have to be creative enough that even before something is asked for, you are including that in as a part of your tool, as a part of your product. So while working for Catalyst at Zoho, which is a pro developer platform, we created a community forum wherein we enable developers and software coders to ask their questions, and this we will very vigilantly keep a watch on to keep improving our product. Our product was in a very nascent stage. We were trying to compete against the likes of AWS, the likes of Heroku. So how do we get up to the standards? How do we meet the standards, right? So that is where the listening to your users, to your developers, is what helped us a lot in building our platform further.
Yeah. So that's perfectly put up, Reena. Of course. So as you rightly mentioned, the feedback, being creative, and of course being proactive. And you very, very rightly said, innovation. Generally, what companies start thinking that, okay, fine, when we talk about innovation, it has to be only in the tech side. But of course, as you mentioned, it's not just in the tech, but also across the customer intelligence and needs, and being innovative and understanding the customer problems, writing it down, getting the feedbacks properly, and actually passing on that specific intelligence very innovatively and very creatively to your tech team, so that they can also work on the solution. So very right, very nicely put up, and very rightly said. So 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 now talking about so continuing this discussion, and as you also said, so I'll now come back to Nitya. Uh, so now, Nitya, generally, what companies say that, okay, fine, we are actually into a certain product. Our competition is also doing the same, because of course now today's SaaS market is uber crowded. Every specific product you talk about segment have at least 10, 15 competitors. So now when we talk about this competitive landscape, how can organizations navigate that competitive landscape when they're implementing product growth strategies? And more importantly, what role does staying ahead of industry trends play in this context? And how we can do that? Staying ahead only means in terms of tech, or how we can actually stay ahead in terms of the competitive landscape?
Right, Kunal. So, see, for example, for every organization must closely monitor industry trends to stay competitive, right? For implementing product-led growth strategy. Say, for example, let us consider an example of Facebook. Okay, like few years back, how Facebook was operating, like as an application, we were all using featured phones where the buttons were there, multiple innovations has grown up and all. So the Facebook compatibility of Facebook, how it has been how it was designed and how it was compatible, and today it is now completely compatible on a touchscreen mobile. So by regular market analysis, staying on par with the technology and industry trends, Facebook could achieve this. Likewise, each and every organization should do this actually, and they are doing it for to be successful. uh, like it should be proactive in identifying the emerging trends, and should be that should align the product goals and which evolves in the market needs, right? So let us take, there are few aspects which the organization has to understand and deep dive. Basically, let us take an example of Netflix as a company and see how it deep dived as a successful implemented product led growth strategy. Like most of the people, Netflix, right? Let us understand how it has been scaled up with these strategies. For example, understanding the customer needs, like deep understanding of customer needs. So if you see, Netflix has started as a DVD by mail company, right? And now today they are a top streaming platform, content streaming platform, which they provide high quality content to customers. That means it is recognizing the changing aspects, behaviors of the users. They're understanding the customers and they are on par to satisfy the customers and users. The other aspect would be like consider agile product development, basically, in few of the technical and product terms if we talk. So like what Netflix does is it continuously comes up with some innovation. It continuously comes up with some advanced enhanced user experience strategies or tactics. So for example, if you see, it has introduced personalized recommendations, and it has some introduction of offline viewing, and some interactive content development, high quality content. So these are iteratively they are developing it for to adapt to user preferences. And one more aspect would be like we can consider user onboarding journey and user adoption rate and everything. So if you see for Netflix again, users are guided in the for the sign up, and it is very easy. It should be seamless. The process of logging in should be very seamless, and after logging in, the users are guided through the content selection based on their preferences, creating their personalized profiles, which contributes to high user adoption. Right, this is very important for user retention and user adoption. And also monetization model, where if you see, Netflix operates on a subscription based model, and few of the other companies works on some different models, but here Netflix works on subscription model. They also provide some free trails to attract new users and new customers. They give the pinch of taste to users, how their product works and how the essence of the product is, and based on that they'll be trying to retain and attract new customers. And the other important aspect would be is like data driven decision making. This is very very important. Like for example, Netflix extensively uses data to analyze user behavior and preferences. If we see, based on the previous searches, based on the previous user what the user has gone through in the application and everything, they have a very strong ML and AI based technology which provides recommendation algorithm as a prime example, like which offers personalized content for each and every user, and like based on the history and user ratings. Right, this is very important for user retention. And one other thing is like staying ahead with the trends and continuous innovation. As I already mentioned, like it anticipates. Netflix always tries to anticipate and understand the industry standards, and it will try to be on par with the technology, and it will try to continuously innovate by providing high quality content to the customers. And they also work on a few of the aspects like see, as an organization everyone should work on feedback loop, customer feedback loop. So it is very important for every organization to work on customer feedback or the partner feedbacks or whatever it is, to be more relevant in the market, and to attract more and more customers, and which in turn enhances revenue generation. So like in Netflix case, it encourages users to rate and provide feedback on content, and this is then used to refine the recommendation algorithms and inform content acquisition and production decisions, right? In the similar way, internally, if we see as an organization, this is what in the user aspects, and internally, if we see, there is one aspect where the cross functional collaboration is also very important for every organization. The cross functional collaboration is very important in Netflix case, for example. So the collaboration between the content creators, the data scientists, the product managers, the tech team, the user experience designers. This ensures the content is not only high quality but also tailored according to the user preferences and stay on par with the market. So, like being proactive in identifying these emerging trends allows for timely adjustments, and which allows organization to be on par with the market, and which in turn helps in revenue, which in turn helps in name and fame, which in turn helps in user adoption rate. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Nitya. You actually covered it very extensively, of course. So, yes, you actually covered most of the important points. Like, in fact, I should say everything. Like focusing on industry trends, and then talking about the market analysis, and then according to the customer's need, pivoting very strongly. And for that, of
Correct.
course, you have to be very, very agile in terms of your product development. But then you actually spoke some very, very important terms, and which exactly are in line or in sync with whatever exactly Reena was also saying, that your user should also always be at the core of your every decision. And of course there should be a very, very constructive feedback loop, and the whole company should work as a common as a single machinery with multiple components working towards a common goal, and which is focusing on a great user experience, having a very great user onboarding. Generally the companies have been missing out in terms of user onboarding. So that is definitely one area that you spoke about. Companies generally focus about in terms of product features and everything, but they generally miss out in terms of the onboarding experience, which has to be very simple and very easy. So that's very rightly put up. And you actually told about like being very intelligent on your customer. So we used to use this term in our team previously. Our so my growth leader also always used to say this, that borrow this particular term or steal this particular term from the financial industry, and that is KYC. Know your customer very very well. And
Right.
the
I agree
moment
with
you
you, Kunal.
yeah. So the moment you know your customer very well, you can actually gel along all the companies, I mean, all the teams, all the machinery, and every user experience very strongly. So very rightly put up, Nitya. Thanks for that very exhaustive answer. So Swati, I will come back to you. And since we have already discussed a lot of things around in terms of feedback, customer feedback loop, industry trends, now there is one important, very important thing which generally companies miss out. And yes, there are some companies which actually takes care of this very strongly, but sometimes they don't know how to focus upon this. And that is whenever companies decide to scale globally. Let's say, for example, a company is focusing on a certain territory, maybe India or APAC, and now they are actually focusing on getting to uh, North American region or Middle East region. Then, while scaling globally, what considerations should the organizations keep in mind so that they can ensure a consistent and a successful implementation of a product-led growth strategy across different markets in the world?
I think that's a very good question, Kunal. So, while scaling product led growth strategy globally, this requires a balanced approach, that respects local differences between maintaining your product's core value propositions. Just like, you need to do thorough market research. You need to understand your local market needs, the cultural preferences, whatever they follow, the regulatory environment which they act in is very important. So the thorough market research here plays a very vital role. This could, involve adapting your product or marketing strategy to fit the local norms and regulations. Another one would be cultural sensitivity in marketing. Now you need to tailor your marketing efforts to resonate with the local audiences there. You need to, connect with the local audiences and then try to understand what their preferences are. Now these could include language translations. It is very important. The language plays a very vital role now, so you need to understand their language and make your marketing strategies based on it. And then respecting cultural differences, you need to understand their culture and again try to make your marketing strategies around those cultural difference and the cultural uh, needs which they follow, and then highlighting those locally relevant benefits to your product. Then you need to one important thing I feel is the local regulations and standards. Now different markets may have varying regulations and standards that your product needs to comply with, right? So this is especially true in industries like green technology, right, where regulations can significantly differ from region to region. So I think adapting to those regulations and standards for your products, you need to comply with the market standards and then uh, market your product accordingly. Now also you need to build local partnerships. You need to collaborate with local businesses or influencers. Nowadays influencers are playing a very vital role in marketing your business. So you need to collaborate with influencers and try to market your product with them, because they know the local area, and they will be able to make you understand and the people there understand the importance of your product. And then you need to see your operational important thing is the operation activities. You need to make sure that your operational infrastructure should be adaptable so to different market without losing efficiency. This could include everything from supply chain management to your customer support, and of course learning and adaptation. You need to be prepared from each market and adapt your strategies accordingly. Regular feedbacks and then the market analysis which I was talking about, these are very important in staying relevant across various global markets, right? So to sum this up, I would say that scaling globally is not just about replacing, a successful model in different geographies. It's more about adapting, evolving, and resonating with each unique market, while staying true to the essence of your market and your product and your service. Yes.
Great, Swati. I mean, like you pointed out, really very important points. Understand culture, understand regulations. Of course, the regulations are a very, very important part across all the departments of the company. But when we specifically talk about marketing and sales or the content marketing, then you definitely have to understand culture pretty well. You have to understand the cultural differences. So it could be as small as that. Like we have seen people uh, that in some geographies their sales team or their communication channel could be WhatsApp, which is okay for the people into that specific geography. But then into some geographies, it could be a very big no. So understanding even those small points about the cultural differences will definitely make a big difference in your marketing or sales campaigns or your growth campaigns. And then, of course, when you understand those cultures pretty strongly, then you will know which are the occasions, which are the festivals, then where you can actually be aggressive and can pinpoint your campaigns. So that's something very, very good. And you also pointed out a very, very good point is about local partnerships and influencer marketing, which aligns with since we are actually talking about the creator economy recently, that it is actually booming very, very, very fast. So that you very rightly put up that as a company, and specifically if you're actually moving into a new geography, you're actually again a startup there. So creator economy will definitely help you in terms of scaling the things pretty fast and also aligning to the cultural differences very beautifully. So thanks Swati for actually like summing it up very beautifully. So Amrita, now coming back to you, sorry for a very long wait. Yeah, so now since we have actually talked about a lot of processes, feedback loops, and everything, so if we talk about the strategies beyond processes, let's say for example, whatever process we have talked about, if we talk something about beyond that, how can organizations cultivate a product-led culture in their organization that actually navigates through the entire company? As Nitya was also saying that the whole company should act as a single machinery. So how that can actually happen throughout the entire company, where we can actually foster innovation as well as agility.
So that's a great question. Okay, sure. So to begin with, I would like to segregate this question into two parts. One, it is to foster innovation, and another one, it is to foster agility. So to foster innovation, when we talk about that, I remembered a favorite quote of mine, which Henry Ford it attributes to, that is, customers are not always right, but they are customers. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. So your customer might not be always the right one, but it is your the company's duty, or I would say challenge, to understand what their actual problem statement is and actual pain point. So this is what the story of your brand should revolve around. That's what I believe. And to ensure a customer centric approach, your whole company should come together. I mean, your whole team should come together by setting a common vision, mission, North Star goals, and it can be targets. And their entire focus should be on your user satisfaction and growth. And to make this happen, your product should be stellar. So that is one thing. And the best example on solving product I mean the product solving the customers pain points would be Zoom during COVID-19. So I think we all remember a time when we were all on Zoom calls. So like when we were all working from home, so Zoom they identified the pain point of companies, like where in-person meeting might not be possible, and then they materialized it by bringing their app and enabling the users to connect with each other virtually. So that was a huge success at that point. And then another one point would be to promote cross-functional collaboration from the stage of awareness, product awareness, to advocacy. The whole team should work towards a common goal, as I said. And one good example of this is iPhone. So in iPhone, like when I was reading Steve Jobs' autobiography, I came to know that he was very much particular about how the inside of the boxes or the component should look. He wanted elegance in whatever he touched. So, like, it is not just about the technology, and it's also more about the design, the UX, we call nowadays, and also the engineering and also the marketing efforts. So we all remember that 1984 themed advertisement for Apple. So all that marketing efforts, I think all these led to Apple becoming a $1 trillion company now. So also apart from this, relying upon iterative development is also important. So now we all use Instagram and WhatsApp and also LinkedIn. But if we just look at how it is today, and if we compare it to some like how it was in 2014 or 16, then we can see a huge difference. So there are so many features added, there are so many features removed. So when I was using LinkedIn some 2 years back, LinkedIn carousels were a buzz, but now the feature is no more available. So similarly, that iteration for your product based on your customer requirement, it's a must. And also it's important to give ownership to your team members. So Freshworks, which is one of my favorite companies, that are, like I just read that article where they said happy employee experience means happy customer experience. So if you give full ownership and freedom to utilize your team skill set for the betterment of your product, your team members will feel empowered. And also, according to Freshwork research, 82% of respondents, they said that employee happiness on the job has significantly impacted on how well their workplace technology performs. So all this will directly or indirectly impact on how well your product performs in the market. And also leadership support, it is a must for innovation. So when it comes to leadership support, like I cannot give a better example than Siemens. So right now, like whatever support I require, be it tools or be it like whenever I tell any new ideas, it's always welcome. Like they never shun my ideas, like okay, you're just 1 year old in this company, why should we listen to you? It is never like that. And that level of autonomy should be given to the team members, so that they can just experiment and learn and grow. So that is also a must. And also it's extremely important for businesses to ensure that they are like staying with the current market trends. So the market might not be always right, the customers might not be always right, but the problem statement, it always exists. So the business, they should understand what the problem statement is, and that should be the driving force behind innovation. And to talk about agility, yeah, so to talk about agility, it is always about allowing your team to fail faster and learn quickly. Failing faster means, I can just give one example. Google Glass. So it was the product. It was just launched with a huge buzz and excitement, but then like they were not able to understand the right market, and the use cases were very less. So the product, they had to shut it down. But they learned from this experience, and yeah, after that they launched so many successful products. And also, you should pave way for continuous learning. So your team, they must be open to learn, and they must be open to just experiment, I would say. So marketers, for example, marketers, they can take free courses in HubSpot. It's always important for businesses to encourage their team to learn continuously and just keep track of the market trends. And also it's important to establish clear communication channels across different teams. So in Lambda test, I still remember how we had a separate channel for marketers, for content writers, for bloggers. So the communication, it was always clear, and they had some strict rules like, okay, you should stick to only the topic which is allowed in this channel. So that level of communication and organizing between your team members, it is a must. Also, like when you speak about team experimentation, which is the next point I would like to emphasize on, as I said already, Netflix, it's one of the best example, because they always emphasize on A to B testing for content recommendations, or it can be user interface experiment, and then dynamic pricing experiment, as said, and then personalized algorithms, global market expansion through content localization and adaptation. So all these has led Netflix to be a household name all over the world. And then you need to emphasize on user centric metrics, as we already discussed in innovation topic. So it should always focus on user satisfaction and retention, so that should be your primary goal. And once you focus on that, then agility becomes a norm in your team. And then getting proper feedbacks at regular occurrence from your customers, it's also a must. So it can be through star rating, or it can be through a survey, it can be through face-to-face interview, or like it can be through any way. And making use of that data can help you understand what your customers feel about your product, and that can lead to.
Sure, Amrita. Thanks a lot for your intensive answer. Even though there's a lot of noise at your background, but your the information that you shared was really very important. So, you really mentioned a very important point that yes, customer pain points are important to listen to the customer, but then it is your team who should actually live your product like they are on a mission. And for that, the culture has to be in such a way that the people are open for the feedbacks. The people can actually speak up openly without any fear, and that will actually make them more engrossed in the product as well as with the vision and the mission. So thanks for that answer. So Nitya, coming back to you, and sorry for a very long pause at your end also, since we have a very uh, like large panel for speakers. So now in today's gen, we have been listening to this particular term very oftenly, and is like data is god, and everything revolves around data. So when we talk about product-led growth model, as we have already discussed across all the major questions, and you also told about in terms of industry trends analysis, which again talks about data. So in a product-led growth model, how important is data in making informed decisions? And what are some of the best practices for leveraging data effectively that you would suggest for the teams and the organizations?
Right, Kunal. A very good question, though. Like, see, based on my past experiences, like I have noticed rapid evolution in various aspects. Not only me, I think it is the same experience for everyone, though. Like the crucial observation is the relevance of data, which remains constant and intact, right? Be it strategic, it can be financial, it can be personal, it can be professional, whatever way it is. The historical experiences, based on the some of the historical experiences, that is nothing but the data. Say, let us consider a small example. Like if you want to buy a new car, we won't simply go to a showroom and just buy a car, right? We will be doing some analysis. Before jumping into some conclusion, we will be doing some analysis, we'll be understanding, we'll be comparing the prices, brands, multiple other things will be there. So this all revolves around data. This is how much the data is crucial for decision making, right? So in a product-led growth model, data is very crucial for making informed decisions. Basically, it serves as a compass between the product managers for guiding towards the user-centric strategies. So there are some best practices for making informed data-driven decisions. For better understanding, I'll take an example. I'll consider the example of Zomato here. And the Zomato as an organization will be thinking of few aspects to make the data-driven decisions. Like for example, there are few aspects, like one is establishing key performance indicators, which are nothing but KPIs. If you see, these KPIs might include, for Zomato, in Zomato's aspect, these KPIs, most of the key important KPIs might include monthly active users, the order conversion rates, and the restaurant partner retentions. So monitoring and understanding these kind of KPIs helps Zomato gauge the platform's popularity, increase revenue generation, and improve partner satisfaction. So identifying these, monitoring these, and working on a few of the aspects of defining it helps a lot on multiple aspects. The other one would be like the user behavior analysis. So for Zomato, if you consider analyzing the user interactions with the app, like tracking the type of cuisines or restaurants users frequently explore, understanding this kind of behavior of user guides Zomato in tailoring its recommendations and optimizing the user interface which in turn helps in advanced user experience, right? So this is very important for every organization. I'm just taking an example of Zomato here, but it is very important. These aspects are very important for every organization to be scaled up, which helps in for better data driven decision makings. And the next one is like cohort analysis. So here, what Zomato does is segmenting users. For example, they will be segmenting users who have joined for a specific period of time. They'll be analyzing this order behavior and everyone. For example, if you see, if you sign up, if few of the users are there and they have signed up to the Zomato platform and they have not ordered anything for a couple of months, so they will be targeting that particular segment, and they will be working with their marketing team, preparing some marketing strategies, coming up with some offers or free delivery options, and be sharing these things with them, so that they will be working on retention of the customer, and they will try to increase the user adoption rate there. So this is one kind of cohort analysis where the organizations will be working on. And other one, as I have already discussed previously, the feedback loops are very important for making data driven decisions also. Say Zomato here asks for feedback on the application directly for delivery service, for food, for restaurant recommendations, or for all these kind of things. Analyzing this feedback helps to address the concerns promptly and enhance the overall platform experience and user experience though. And the other one would be like the predictive analytics and competitor benchmarking. So coming to predictive analytics, the platform, the Zomato uses uh, advanced machine learning tactics to predict the user behavior on past orders, right? So where the Zomato offers again personal recommendations and anticipate user needs, which improves in turn the customer satisfaction and increases the loyalty towards the customer. And the competitor benchmarking. So where the Zomato should be on par with the competitors. Like for the major competitor for Zomato is Swiggy. So if Swiggy comes up with something like if Swiggy comes up with some reduced delivery timelines, then Zomato will have to work on something which will match the Swiggy, which should match Swiggy, or it should be almost it should be some in unique place on par with Swiggy, right? So it should always be on par with the competitors, and they'll always try to improve and innovate in their aspects by identifying the negatives in it.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
Nitya.
yeah, the last one would be like the lifetime value analysis. This is very important for every organization. So like understanding the lifetime value of users, for example, the users who have frequently placed high value orders. So this helps the marketing team and the marketing strategy to focus on acquiring and retaining the customers, right? Say for example, in Zomato's case, I as a user, I have subscribed for multiple Zomato Gold subscriptions for a couple of 3 years or 4 years. The fourth year, it will ask me saying you are offered for 50% lesser price because you are a valued customer. And if there is any issue, I'll be connecting with the support team. So I'll be marked as a priority customer because I'm a frequently user and high valued customer. So these kind of things, these kind of practices for every organization helps in enhanced user experience and in turn improves the user adoption rate. So in my aspect, these are few of the key aspects to be considered for making data driven decisions.
No, perfectly, like very rightly put up by you, Nitya. And so then this again brings me to the point which you actually mentioned in your previous answer as well. Is like all the teams should actually work like a single machinery. So now, of course, when we talk about all of this intelligence coming back to the marketing or the growth or the support of the sales team, then of course it has to start with your technology team by delivering the right data points and the right intelligence back to marketing and the sales team so that they can start acting upon that. So very rightly put up, because once you know everything about your customer, every information, every touch point, then you can actually start focusing on the customer marketing, which we actually say, or the product marketing across the whole user journey. So
Right, Kunal.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So thanks for that answer, a very detailed answer, Nitya. So now a very common question, which is generally a curiosity among a lot of users, especially the early adopters into product marketing or into product-led growth. So Swati, I would just come back to you regarding this question, that we talk a lot about product-led growth, and many of the growth teams or the product teams definitely want to adopt the product-led growth. but then they are generally as an early adopter or as just a beginner into the specific thing, they're not very much aware or educated about this. So what educational resources or strategies would you recommend for empowering these users to get the most value out of their product led growth?
Absolutely, Kunal. Education is important for all. Now, especially for complex or innovative products, empowering users through education is very much essential. It's not just about making a sale; it's more about ensuring that your customers and your users understand and utilize the products to its full potential, which in turn drives growth. Now, let me just share some effective strategies that have proven successful across various industries. One such is user friendly educational content, right? You need to develop clear, concise, and accessible contents like tutorials, guides, and FAQs. Now, these should explain not just how to use the product and how to uh, how we need to use these products, but you should also why it is beneficial. You should need to understand why is it beneficial and why it is useful for the real world content. For example, in the solar industry, only we have a platform called Green Institute, wherein we not just invite solar enthusiasts, but also customers, everyone, to come and learn how solar works. We use simple visual aids to explain how solar panel converts sunlight into energy, and I think this is very much important, not just for the customers but for everyone to understand. Once you are into this industry, you need to understand how this works, and that is why it is very much important to first get those information first and then present it in front of the people. Another such strategy would be interactive workshops and webinars. Regularly hosting educational sessions that are open to all the users is very much important. Again, these can be platform for live demonstrations, question and answers. I believe question and once you start with the question and answer, your whatever doubts you have, it gets clarified more nicely, and then you'll be able to understand the product more accurate. And then customer success stories. Nowadays we can see a lot of people are showcasing customer success stories on their website and everywhere possible. And I think this is very much important, to share real life examples on how the product has positively impacted the users. This in this way people feel connected and they feel that the kind of product is very much useful, and they believe in onto it when they see real life examples, people telling about how they are feeling after using a particular product or a service. Now, this could be also through case studies, testimonials, or user created content. Now, this will resonate well and build trust among potential customers as well. Another one could be engaging with online tools like calculators or interactive demos can be very effective. Again, if I give an example of solar industry, we have a solar calculator which helps users to understand the savings, what savings they are doing, uh, like what all benefits they'll be getting, how much electricity would they be saving. So interactive tools help them to understand how to use that particular product or how helpful that particular product will be in for them in the future. Another such strategy can be responsive customer support. Now, you need to understand and ensure that your customer service team is well trained and equipped to understand users about the product. Now, feedback, as Nitishri rightly said, these are very crucial here to continuously improve the user experience and educational materials. Now, to sum this up, I feel the heart of empowering users lies in bridging gap between the complexity of a product and the simplicity of its use. When the users feel confident and informed, they will not only become advocates of the product, but they will also contribute to the growth and evolution of the product. So yes.
Great, Swati. I mean, greatly put up. And two very important points that you actually covered up, which are the core of this particular point or the product marketing is, first of all, of course, making your user aware about the product and the power of the product that they are actually using. because unless and until they are not aware and educated about the product, they cannot leverage the complete power and the potential of your product. So you like focused upon and you told about like the user friendly content, the use cases, and I hope HubSpot Academy and Demand Based Academy are a very live example of these specific things. So HubSpot Academy in itself is such a huge acquisition channel for HubSpot itself, where people come, learn, and of course become the ambassadors of HubSpot as a product.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then webinars and workshops very recently in terms of Indian SaaS space, I have seen Wati very aggressively and very rigorously doing these workshops and these webinars for their new customers, existing customers on a weekly basis, on one-on-one basis. So definitely that's a very important point. And then you said where actually you talk about in terms of the use cases or the case studies in terms as a proof, talking about the calculators or the interactive demos where people can actually experience that, okay, fine, what exactly I'm going to get the benefits out of this. So very rightly put up. So Reena, coming back to you on so this is a very apt question for most of the growth startup who are actually into high growth phase. So many companies and most of the companies grow at a pretty fast pace in their initial phase, but what actually happens is that they, after a certain point of time, they start facing the threat of getting into the plateau mode where their growth gets stagnant. So this question comes back to you, Reena. When it comes to scalability, in that case, what are some common challenges that organizations face, and how can these challenges be proactively addressed in the product-led growth framework?
Right. So, Kunal, working with both Zoho and Kerex, both specializing in cloud based messaging and product offerings, scalability challenges is something that I've experienced, seen firsthand, and learned how to tackle them. And I hope these few pointers will help our listeners as well. So, as you rightly mentioned, like there is a threshold with most product led companies, and once they are through that, you need to expect a rapid growth, right? You need to forecast this growth, and there are a bunch of things that you can do to proactively address these, right? Now, one thing that I would like truly recommend is infrastructure scaling. Do not shy away from investing in scalable cloud infrastructure to increase to handle the increasing volumes of new customers, right? Secondly, when your customer base is growing, you will not have the time to give personal attention to each and every new customer. So to ensure this growth of user base, you need to be sure to tailor your onboarding experiences, offering intuitive onboarding flows and extensive resource libraries, helping new users quickly understand and utilize the platform effectively without you having to invest in manpower or human force for that matter. Thirdly, when you're trying to grow globally, right, just be sure to inculcate compliance as a feature instead of a part of the privacy and security policies. Just understand the diverse regulatory landscapes and integrate compliance features right into the product. Let a user just switch into whatever global location they are based into. So anticipate that as well, and be sure that you are globally compliant to tackle the scalability issue. Fourth, I would like to highlight on would be, of course, again, user centric innovation. Uh, Constantly iterate on the platform based on the user feedback, ensuring that the new features are not only met current needs but were also scalable for their future requirements. So be prepared for what is coming for your users, and that way you will ensure that your platform is always catering to the large demands and active growth of the user base. That would be it from my end, Kunal. Just focusing on these four.
Sure, Reena. So focusing on agility, focusing on user experience, of course, always stays on the top. When
Yeah.
yeah, when you talk about the product-led growth, being very agile, being very proactive, being customer-centric are actually the core. So thanks, Reena, and you always keep it very short and to the point. So yeah, so thanks. So as we get into the last question of the show, I honestly wanted this event to expand to more questions, but I am also bound by time. So unfortunately, this would be the last question for today. So Amrita, this comes back to you. And so, in your view, how does a product-led growth strategy influence the overall strategic decision making process within an organization?
So the heart and soul of product-led growth lies upon customer-centric focus or user-centric focus, I would say. When you adopt product-led growth in your organization, then it can lead to customer-centric focus, which in turn can lead to refined decision-making processes with more organized and specific thought process among your team. So that is bound to happen. And also, when you inculcate iterative development practices, then it can lead to more insights. And these insights can also lead to more iterative development practices, I would say. So, for example, let's say if your customers have responded well to your freemium model or any upsell model, then that can lead, like your marketers, they will know where they have to focus their marketing strategies. And similarly, there can be so many other product-led growth strategies which can pave way for your leadership team to understand where they have to put their money and efforts. And also, data-driven decision making. It's also one of the top leading factors that can help your business grow. So, with this data-driven decision making, your business can reach your customer goals just right. It can be in terms of user satisfaction or retention, and also user acquisition and onboarding strategies are going to become much clearer. So you know how to like acquire the users and how your product is playing out in the market and what message your product is sending to your user. So with all that, the process it's going to become much more simpler in comparison to traditional SaaS marketing strategies. Also, cross-functional collaboration can foster team spirit, continuous improvement, and also continuous learning among your team. So, in Lambda test, when I was working over there, we were always asked to test their product. So, when let's say they have just like they have just introduced a plugin or a new feature, we were always asked to test it, even though you're an intern, you're a blogger, like you can be from anywhere in the team. So their objective was to ensure that the product they were able to reach even beginners or anybody without programming or coding knowledge. So this helped them to make their user interface and also the user experience more apt for all a wide variety of users. Also, organic growth is possible. It can be through user referrals or word of mouth, yeah, incentives, or like when people refer each other to the product. So this can happen through better content marketing, brand management, and also eventually community building strategies. So all this can be the decision making pillars for your organization. Also, through scalability and automation, which is like automation, it is the buzzword nowadays. And like I'm not that much surprised when I came to know that McKinsey has given out a statement that 50% of work can be automated in today's age, and also 31% of businesses they have at least one function they have fully automated. So when I was researching for this speech, even I made use of ChatGPT, and trust me, compared to how much time I used to take to research for other speeches in the past, ChatGPT it just cut about 80% of the time, I would say. And yeah, so automation business, like when it comes to product led growth, automation and also data analytics and AI can just be the driving force for the businesses, and it will all in turn save a lot of time, money, and also efforts, so which is the ultimate aim for many product businesses. And also like you get long-term customer value, that is through strategic decisions involving planning for customer retention, expansion, and satisfaction. You can get an understanding on where the sustained growth comes from, So that all these practices would help you to build a loyal customer base, I would say.
Thanks, Amrita, for summing it up pretty well by combining all the points, whatever we have discussed, and whatever are the key elements in the components of like product-led growth. So thanks a lot. So now, as we conclude this insightful talk show on scaling product-led growth, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our incredible panel of speakers for sharing their invaluable expertise and experience. So thanks a lot to all the amazing ladies, Amrita, Swati, Nitya, and Reena. Thank you for your insightful contributions. Your insights have really helped us and like providing some actionable strategies for scaling businesses through a product-led approach. And additionally, a massive thanks to our engaged listeners, since the journey to scaling businesses is an ongoing process. And your active participation in today's discussion is actually a proof of your commitment to growth and innovation. So, all the best with the great work that you all are doing to empower your teams and organizations. Once again, a heartfelt thank to all the speakers and listeners. Your involvement has made this talk show a resounding success. Thanks, Swati. Thanks, Nitya. Thanks, Veena. Thanks, Amrita. Thanks, Laura. It was really nice talking to all of you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Kunal.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Kunal.
thank you,
Thank
Kunal.
you, Kunal. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
And special
Lokesh.
thanks to
Thank you.
V360.
Thanks a lot. Everyone is actually really happy to host all of you. Yep. Okay. So here's the final goodbye for today. Amazing speakers and all the listeners. See you all in our next episode of Productivity League. Signing off for now. Goodbye from your host, Kunal. Bye.